let me just configure this stuff. Okay, let's see. Okay, should be fine. Hey everybody. Oh wow, a lot of people joining already. That's awesome. Good afternoon to everybody. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I just randomly started streaming. I haven't seen you guys in a week or so. So Discord. Let me just pin this programming network website. Give me 2 seconds. My partners in code. I'll just pin it here. I'll just pin it here. Nice. Cool, cool, cool. Then I can move this here. You can hear me loud and well, I suppose. You should be able to. All right, I guess you can. I don't know, is the music too loud? Let's just configure the basics and then let's proceed. Building things. You're clear. Nice, nice, nice. Super. Okay, let me just close up some things over here. Alrighty, amazing. Super. What is too much, Mert? Exactly, music or daily code? I'm sorry, man. I'm not a typical streamer. I don't have these commands. The camera is. I can write it for you. Razer Kaio Ultra Pro. That is the camera. All right, let me know if the music is fine now, and then we go and hack. My pleasure, man. Alrighty, well, you can't log in into the website? What? Really? I pressed the button. You should be. I mean, no, maybe you missed. Maybe you forgot your password or something. Maybe you should try resetting it. Oh, we got a new Andre. Hey, Andre. If I use my GitHub, it throws an error. Ah, okay, I see. Let's try, because I was doing a lot of awesome stuff on Programming Network. Let me try continue with GitHub. Okay, actually, wow. Wait a minute, what's happening? Let's take a look at that. No, no, please. Very good that you told me, because I've been doing a lot of infrastructure. I've been doing a lot of infrastructure yesterday. So let me actually see what's happening. That's really weird. Yeah, okay. There is. So the latest feature that I built is news now. So now you can read news in Programming Network as well. And it's going to be getting better and better. So I'm very, very proud of that. Let me just see what's happening with Git. That's really, really bad. And I might know, but what a way to start a stream, right? Yeah, sure. But let's see. No, I'm not using Next.js, so that can't hit us. I'm not using that garbage technology thing, no. Wow, okay. Wait, let me see what is happening with Git. That's an odd, okay. Oh, odd token error. Okay, give me 1 second. That's really bad. I need to SSH into my remote server. Give me just 2 seconds. Yeah, that is pretty crappy, man. Give me 1 second. No, I know what it is. I know what it is. I've been doing some changes to my Kubernetes yesterday. I had to fiddle with some environmental variables and stuff like that. So I know what it is already. I just can't share my screen immediately. Give me 1 second, because I have to do some secrets and stuff that obviously I... and I'll answer questions in 2 seconds. Just bear with me, please. No, thank you very much for pointing it out, man. No, I mean, that is the most critical flow, right? That cannot fail. That absolutely cannot fail, right? So thank you for pointing that out. I literally found the issues already. Give me 1 second, I'll be with you. I really need to, I mean, yeah, what a way to start the stream, I get it, but thank you very much. That, I should have tested that, because I did some critical things yesterday, and crap, man. Okay, let me see if I have this configured locally, because I don't wanna, because we need to fix it in development. Let's see. No, that's fine, but we don't, right? Okay, let me think. Yeah, that is pretty terrible, actually. We need to fix that. It's just, is that a stream type of thing, right? Because now I need to... Yeah, it's an all-auth token error for sure, right? Crap. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Crap. One moment, fellas, I'm sorry. I'll share my screen in a second. What I'm actually going to do now, I'm just going to generate a new token here, and then we're going to redeploy our API, because that we cannot have this broken. So very good that one of you, this is a critical flow. So I'm just going to Just going to update that very quickly. GH client secret, right? Yes. Okay. No, man, please, I would so much appreciate it. This is, I mean, I built the whole entire social platform on my own, and everything is built by myself. Absolutely everything we don't use. So it's sometimes, right, and I do a lot of changes. I mean, a lot of, when I have the time, I do these things, right? So yeah, we need to set up some end-to-end testing very soon, because this stuff I can't allow this crap to happen, right? So so thank you very much. It's the code base of this whole platform is amazing, right? So this has nothing to do with the code. It's more of a process, right? Because I've been doing I actually have some stuff to deploy to the API anyway, and then we're gonna give it a shot. So let me just review this PR. It's related to courses anyway. Then I have some migration file, right? Yes, we'll need some more migrations. That's okay. Let me just shoot this to the let's just deploy this to production, and then we'll see already. And then I'll kind of present you with the latest events on what I've done in Programming Network, some of the cool things that I believe are pretty awesome and stuff like that. I'm just kind of reviewing the transactions just to make sure. Mark lecture incomplete. Sure. Okay, we'll kind of, yeah. There's some things that you could say technically maybe could be better, but it's, I mean, not, yeah. It's okay. Nothing major there. Tag schema, get courses, our validation schema. Yes, all good. Yeah, that's also kind of awesome. Sure, sure. Yeah. A lecture below Bronx. Yes, a lecture. Course lecture. Okay. Okay, that is. All right, cool. Let's push this to prod, and then hopefully the new key will be. I added the new authentication key, so let's see. So we do pass it here. We do expect it here as mandatory. We do pass it here with the GH client ID, right? Yes, sure. So in theory, Cedric, my friend, hey. Okay. All right, let's shoot that to prod. Let's get to our workflows here. You have to work in the weekends, man. That sucks. A lot of work, I assume. A lot of work, I assume, yeah. And while this is happening, just give me 1 second. Ah, crap, man. Yeah, I feel your pain, dude. Just 1 second, my friends. I just need to do something that you guys are not allowed to see. Okay. Is that fine now? Let's see. Sit. Yeah. What may that be? Just some environmental variables. Okay, so we're gonna wait for that. So while that's happening, so what's new in Programming Network, you may ask? As you can see, I just kind of redid the homepage, and if we actually go ahead and log into production, so there's a couple of new things that you can utilize. So first and foremost, now I've finalized the news aggregator. So every 1 hour we aggregate and summarize certain news, tech news. So so we can also do discussions on them, and of course you can go to the original articles. What I'm actually gonna do now, because something is strange, it's impossible that there are no news since last evening, so I suspect also something with the API key might be missing. Let me try to run a local test, because yeah, I did some Kubernetes stuff last night, so let's see if things will work. Which stack you recommend for web app? I mean, that's a very broad question, Daily Code. That's not a actually, never mind. So that is a very broad question, man. What type of app? What is that app? What is that app supposed to do, etc., etc., right? So it's really Jesus Christ. It really boils down what is it supposed to do, right? In general, I mean, if it's in general, then whatever you know best, right? I would say, but Next.js and all of these hybrid things, they really exist for the sake of you know, PHP. There's nothing wrong with PHP, but the thing is, you need to be able to you need to be able to answer some. I'm just give me 2 seconds. I'm very sorry. I'm just testing one thing. That's why I'm a little bit, and then I'll get into that a little bit more. But okay, it seems that there are really no news at all since last night. Okay. Okay, let me just before we I wanna actually discuss many things with you guys. Why not? I'm up for that. Let me just try now logging in with Git again and see if anything has changed. Okay, GitHub now works again. GitHub works again, so we're actually good. So thank you very much for that. One thing I will still need to do, I'm very sorry, I promise I will stop hiding my screen in 1 minute and then we're done with that, is I need to, as I have just Infinite, thank you very much, buddy. Thank you very much. Enjoy whatever you're doing. And I guess we see each other some other time. I need to do final thing before we can continue coding together. Okay, nice. And then I will just okay, cool. All right. So let's just answer the question about languages, right? So okay, so let's just, before we continue coding, let's answer the question, which stack should I use, right? Because that is a question that's very often asked, and is really a question that in most cases, in majority of cases, shouldn't really be asked at all, right? So let's discuss that. Yeah, let's discuss that a little bit, right? So when we talk about shapes, where is it? I'm not seeing the... Yeah. So when we talk about stacks, right? And I'm gonna try to make this tool actually look as it usually looks. I don't know why. Why is it missing things? Shapes, what? I just wanted to draw. That's all I really wanted, but whatever. Let's use paint. Okay, so so we have stacks. We have coding. We have programming languages, and then we have stacks. Basically, yeah. Okay. And when we talk about these tools, right? We need to talk about them as we talk about everything else in life, right? We have other tools, right? And when we talk about tools, every tool has its own application, right? So it's impossible to decide which tool you're going to use unless you define a problem that you're solving. So you cannot ask me, you cannot start from the tool. You have to start from the problem, bro. So you cannot say, where should I use hammer, right? It's the same way if you compose this question, right? Like this. That's a silly question. Nobody wakes up and asks, where should I, what should I use the jigsaw for, right? That's a reverse question. Rather, you have a problem, and then you ask, how do I solve that problem? This is high level, right? You have some problem always, and then you want to solve the problem. This is the most high level possible thinking that you have, right? And then you start from how do I solve the problem? Then you typically go top down, right? So you have a problem, and then you start researching the way back towards the tools. You don't choose the tools and then seek for some problem to solve. That makes no sense. Nobody goes to buy a hammer and then invents a problem in their house so they can justify using the hammer. It's like, no, you know what? I'm gonna buy a jigsaw, and then look around the house what to cut. You get the point, right? Nobody does that unless you're absolutely insane mentally, right? So when you ask the question, which is what stack should I use, right? This can be answered in many ways, but again, you're asking the question in very much reverse. That's why I'm saying it's impossible to answer these questions because they're very vague, right? And as engineers, we need to be able to ask good questions, not vague questions, right? So what should be using depends on the things that you're building and depends on the knowledge that you already have, depending what your goal is, depending are you building something for the sake of learning? Are you building for the sake of building a business? Have you considered the business constraints, hiring, how much developers cost? There are many things to answer, right? But the core point here that I'm trying to convey isn't about technology at all. It's about being able to ask the right questions, because that's what engineering is. Engineering isn't stacks and tools. Engineering is asking the good questions, right? Like I said many times before, right? Einstein said something along these lines: if I had an hour to solve a problem, I would spend 55 minutes looking for the right questions to ask, right? So this is kind of how Einstein explained his own critical thinking, his own thought process. It's all about asking the right questions, and to be able to ask the right questions, you need to have the domain knowledge, you have to do certain things to achieve that. And then when you are able to ask the right questions, then you can derive from them and then come up with the proper solutions, and then eventually start whatever, in our case, programming. Or so that's why when you are senior, or when you go beyond senior, you have a role that's called architect, right? So you're no longer called a coding tool, right? You're called an architect, because, and to be an architect, to be senior architect or whatever, you need what? Well, you need to be able to think, ask the good questions, and come up with properly designed solutions, right? So these things I'm talking about past 5 minutes are the most critical skills being an engineer, not software engineer, any sorts of engineer, right? Engineering starts with thinking, with questions, with answers, with defining the problem and the solution, and then eventually we land to tools, languages, etc., right? This is not to say that these are irrelevant, but these are way less relevant than the other things. So in simple words, are you going to use PHP or Java or C# or JavaScript or Haskell, Clojure, Pascal, COBOL, and 500 other languages is in most cases, for most businesses, for most people, completely irrelevant. Everything else is way more relevant, right? So which language you're going to choose for most people, again, is has very little value, if any, right? The best language often you should choose is the language that you know best. That's what I would say. Okay. Hi everybody, hi YouTube, hi FundasFizz98. How you doing, buddy? Okay, so what's new on Programmer Network? So as you can see now on Programmer Network we have, let me just double test this again. If my key is working, it is. So hi everybody. So there are many new things on Programmer Network, many of which I'm proud of lately. As you can see, let me just log in with my own account here. So right now you can read news finally on Programmer Network. So I have added the news aggregator, as you can see. So now every hour we are pulling news from various sources. We can also discuss the news. You can of course go to the original articles. I'm using OpenAI to summarize these articles. You can find them also on the front page over here. Works really well. I pay very little for the AI to process them, and we have our own RSS parser as well. Besides that, I was focusing a lot on providing awesome writing experience. So now under the dashboard, we have this called, I call it Zen Editor. So now when you're writing an article, you have this slash menu, as it's called. So as you can see now, if I actually go to one of my article that I'm writing right now, that I'm going to release in a couple of days, and I also need to sort these out. It's called If Else, Tyranny of Ilse. So this is the current article that I'm writing. So as you can see, what we've added to Programming Network, and I need to polish it up, is a bunch of different tools. So first and foremost, as I said, now when you're writing, you're in this kind of clean Zen mode, no distractions, whatever. You can use the, as I said, now you can use the slash. So if you press slash, you're kind of having all of your things here. So for example, I have added the call out as well. So you can say I want a node here, and then you can, so I've added a bunch of these cool tools. We have also added something that I think I need to open source, is this hand-drawn annotations. So you can do like text, you can do these annotations, you can say I want to underline of this color, and I want it to be fat, and then you get that kind of cool effects. So basically I was focusing a bit on building the editor to provide the most awesome writing experience, and I'm going to keep doing that more. As you can see now on our dashboard, you can kind of condense this menu now, so that's also new. But yeah, writing experience, all the metadata about the article has been moved here in the right sidebar, because I realized you don't need to look at that when you choose your article title, and when you choose your summary and stuff. You don't need to stare at that while you're writing. We also have the bubble menu now, so you no longer need to scroll up and down when you're writing. That experience really sucked. So now you can just highlight whatever, and So I'm gonna keep writing these open source tools for TipTap. So we have, as you can see, we have this new call out thing. So you can say, hey, I want a critical, or I want navigation or whatever. So example. So it's basically providing people while writing their articles to kind of have as many of these tools to convey their technical blog ideas through this. And as I said, I will be writing now weekly. So that's new. Again, as you saw, news are new. So we have the tech news now. You can use Programming Network to read. Soon you're gonna start getting emails for the news. So I'm now building the new weekly news aggregator. So for people who follow certain tags, you will get like a once a week one aggregated email with all the important news in your inboxes. Now today I'm doing the courses. This weekend is going to be focused on polishing the course experience and stuff. But overall, I would say, also, as you can see, our thoughts now have, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yeah. Yes. So this is all RSS and a couple of other resources. Yes, exactly. Then, as you can see, our thoughts now support these images, like on these platforms like Instagram. As you can see, we're also parsing the URLs when you share them. So you can see now when you share a thought, the URL is parsed. We fetch the metadata from that article, the image and stuff. So you can see I shared an article here, and it has kind of taken the image from that official blog from Adi Osmani from here. So yeah, a lot of awesome work has been done. Platform is evolving a lot. I just hope we can start getting people to use it to build an awesome community. But overall, yeah, I'll keep doing a lot of stuff. You can see also you can filter things out here. So, and I'm gonna keep improving this. So you can see if you want to filter stuff out. So you can see you have today, and you can say I want to just read cybersecurity stuff today. So today in cybersecurity, in the cloud, autonomous vehicles, API design, blah, 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 you can see. Or you can say I want to, so for example, in these news here, you're going to be getting, for example, when some major release of some library happens or whatever, we're going to do that here. Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff. There's been a lot of stuff. You can also bookmark the news now as well. So for example, if you go to the news and say, you know what, I want to read this later, you can save it, and then you can find it in your dashboard under bookmarks for later. So it's going to be, you can see TechCrunch, so you can go back and read it. Just as you can bookmark articles, if you remember from before, you can come here and say Cedric Urban wrote about IBM. You can bookmark that as well, and then you can read it here. But now you can also bookmark news, which is kind of, yeah. Yeah, it's been a lot of stuff. I actually wrote it on my e-ink tablet, but I've been working a lot on this. How long have you been working on this? I work on this on and off. This whole platform has been built more or less in the stream, most of it. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I do this next to 2 kids and a wife and a full-time job. So you could say, yeah, you could say I have no idea. Okay, so these are the novelties. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on the news part as well, so everybody gets weekly email. All people who are following some tags. So if you're signed up on Programmer Network, great. If not, please sign up. But if you are, please make sure to update your interests here, because these interests will define what type of content you get from the platform. So this is not Twitter. It's never gonna be. This is not these garbage. You know, dopamine engagement type of platform. So this platform will only push things that you say that you care about, and you will never see things that you explicitly didn't say that you care about. So right, so you could say just make sure to choose your right interests. You know, sometimes we will not have any content to show for you because what you're interested in doesn't exist on the platform, and that's just how it is. That's what I want this platform to be. If there's nothing to show to you, well, nothing you will see. That is the whole premise. I see you're really impressive. You were really consistent. No, I mean, I am consistent with this project. I mean, I haven't done it for 8 months, and now I came back again. So again, as I said, this is a large-scale project. It's going to take many years to do what I envisioned, you know, and that is perfectly fine. That is what I will do. You know, we all have a limited amount of time, and what can I say? I can only do what I can, but I will much rather do it slowly than never do it, and then wonder, oh, what if I did it, right? So, as I always say, you will never have infinite amount of time or anything like that, so it's just better to spend as much time as you can and do it as long as it takes versus not doing it at all. Okay, so that's great. Now, as I said, I'm working on courses, so we'll do that today. So as you can see, if we actually go here, so I'm now improving the courses view. I've also added a table for progression. So if you come here and say completed, so this is the stuff I'm going to be spending this weekend on from the time I have. So now we have the progress of the course. So that's what we're going to be doing today in this stream, I think, backend and front end, and not so much infrastructure because we have our own Kubernetes running. So that is fine. Okay. Let me just kind of skim through. So this is very POC, proof of concept right now. So nothing here that's impressive or anything yet. But let me just see where we want to start. All right, so let me just first see how far is this from mobile experience, and I think it should be mobile friendly already. It is. Okay, very good. So let's kind of go and start coding a bit. It's good that we fixed that GitHub issue with... Did you use AI? Of course I used AI. I used a lot. I use it a lot every day. Of course. No, I'm not gonna be storing any. I'm not gonna be storing any videos. These videos will either be YouTube or whatever. We don't have money or infrastructure or need for that. I would say this platform is going to take a couple of more years probably to gain the traction that I want it to gain. So for now, Cedric and I will be writing some courses, recording some videos, or just textual courses. The hardest thing about building things always, right, is you guys asking me, Alex, why the hell would I even use this platform, right? Why the hell would I use this crap? Yeah, it might be cool, it might be this and that, right? So these are the hard things. We need to find enough of crazy people like we are, who share the same values, who respect their own time, who, for example, as I said here on the landing page, if you go there, right? Like a professional space for developers, no algorithms, no noise, just developers sharing, learning, and building together, right? So the value of this platform is really only exists for people who have realized how much time they're wasting on X and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and these things. Because in order to find value in Programming Network and platforms like this, I'm sure there are many, you need to kind of make a step back and look into your own habits every day. How much time you spend on shorts this, shorts that, small videos, people, right? So I'm building this primarily for myself before anything else, because I never had Instagram in my life. I never had any of these. I only have LinkedIn and Programmer Network profile. And I have LinkedIn because it's necessary evil, right? So this is not going to ever be mainstream, or this is never going to become Facebook. But if I can gather a few thousand similar individuals who understand the concept behind this, then I'm going to be more than happy, right? So so that is the value, right? The value is escaping and first and foremost realizing how much time people waste on a lot of these platforms, right? It's insane. But somebody asked, have I used AI? I've used living crap about AI. Of course I have. Of course I have. I mean, it would be... AI is a massive help. AI makes me very productive often, right? Because... and I'm going to use it now, you're going to see. But for very generic things, right? I use AI for very, very generic things. Okay, so I'm going to actually show you about it now. So actually, let's use the AI now. So what I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to use some super cheap model for this. Because this thing, let's say cursor model pricing. So what is the cheapest possible one? Grok code. Okay, I guess, right? Grok code is like super cheap. Okay, output $1.5. Okay, so I'm going to use... so I'm going to use that. No, I'm going to use agent for this. And I'm going to use Grok code or whatever. I'm going to give it my agents MD for the front end, because I just need a quick, because we're getting back into these features. So I'm going to say restructure these directories according to my agents MD. I actually, Mert, I'm going to use these very expensive models, as you know. That's what I use. But what I want to do this weekend now when I'm hanging out with you guys, I just want to kind of see... I just want to see the cheaper ones, how they are. Like this task I just gave it is very, very simple. There's no reasoning here. This is literally moving things around, right? So I want to see... I want to get better because I spend $600 this month on AI, right? So I still want to reduce that because Cursor is very expensive. These models that I use are very expensive, like Sonnet and Opus 4.5 by far is amazing. So I want to kind of reduce the price a bit. And I think this stuff, like, which is actually ironically what I use the AI for the most, is just like moving things around, because the code that I wrote is already awesome. It's just like now when I'm doing certain things, I want them to look a little bit different. So I think actually this crappy model Grok code that you're saying that is crappy, it seems to be doing exactly what I want so far, I guess. So let's see what the outcome of that is going to be. But Fuad, keep in mind that the $600 I spent, that's my company pays for that. I'm not paying myself. So that's the difference, right? Yeah, so yeah, it's making tiny mistakes, and that's okay. No, I think it's doing fine, man. For this type of crap where it's just moving... Okay, let's see, Mert. Let's see. I trust you fully, man. Thank you. Please keep coming with these suggestions. I really like them. I respect it. Let's just see, because so far, I feel that it's doing well. I don't want to say anything, but let's see. And... okay. Let's give it a chance, because I typically use these expensive models. But please, like, it seems you're trying a lot of things out, and... music to my ears. Just please keep doing it. I respect that a lot. I certainly don't know everything. We are all in this AI boat together, so I would say more knowledge sharing, the better. Okay, I mean, all right. I mean, let's see. I'll just say, hey, my good friend, you kind of missed something here, but so far, let's see. Okay. Okay. Maybe it's a default export or something. I don't know. Labro Famosa, I agree with you, man. So let me give you my 5 cents of that. I think that it's, I would say we community is highly unfair towards junior community, right? I wrote my first code 25 years ago. I wrote some first code, COBOL and Pascal and etc., right? And I think the reason why I say that we are often very being unfair to junior developers today is that we're saying, oh, these junior developers, they're just using AI. But let me challenge that thinking a little bit. Do you think that if you and I had AI during our own times, when we were juniors, do you not think that we would do the same, right? So I think I agree with you 100%, no question about that. It's just the genuine, the honest question to give it the benefit of the doubt, right? Is to say, if people had AI 300 years ago, they would have used it, right? So I think I agree with you, but it's like what should they do, right? What should these juniors do today, right? So I think it's a very delicate, very hard situation for them, right? It's not that they're like, oh, I just want to click a button, it's all done for me. So it's a very hard situation, and I don't know what they can do, right? What can they do when they have this amazing technology, right? So that's why I think the times ahead of us are very much unknown, because we don't understand yet the implication of AI to these new generations, right? The new generation, I have two kids, one is 6 years old, one is 4 months old, so I have a baby and a son who is in school, and I don't know, man, they might end up being geniuses, or they might be stupid like fuck in 10 years from now, right? We don't know. Nobody really knows the implication of these tools, to be very honest. If somebody says they know, they're lying, right? So we don't know, man. I hope that it's genuinely helpful to civilization, and that it's not damaging in a sense of delegating so much cognitive stuff to the tool that then eventually dumbifies you, stupefies you, right? I don't know. Hitu said, I use Q13 locally for free. Yeah, that's a good one. We can try doing that as well. I have a whole server here at home, so. But you're probably using the 8 billion one, right? You're probably using 8B, right? I assume. So anyway, the main point is whenever you judge people today, younger generation, younger developers, entry-level programmers for using AI, make a step back. And I'm not saying that anyone is judging anybody here. I'm just saying if we are ever commenting on these new generations in that way, be honest, make a step back and say, well, would I have used these tools if I had them during my initial onboarding into programming? And I think the question is pretty clear. I think everybody would, right? Now, what effect would that had on us? I don't know. Maybe we would have been a million times better programmers. Maybe we would have been a million times worse. That is the problem. We don't have the history yet. We don't have the time to make these estimates yet. In 10 years from now, somebody will look back and say, oh man, we have built the greatest generation of programmers past 5 years. Or they will say, man, we have no competent people in this industry who can fix this code, right? So this is... yeah. ZZ, hey 007. Good, man. Thank you for that heart at the end. Seems you like my stream. Good, man. Very good. Just I haven't streamed a couple of maybe a week or so. since I came back to streaming, so I was trying to do some work on Programmer Network besides kids and wife and full-time job, so... But how do you run 30 billion parameters model? Like, what GPU do you have? I have 4070 Ti. I don't think I can run 30 billion parameters on it. Oh, that's why. Okay. Because I have 4070 Ti and I can't run that. So let's see here, performance. So you can see I have 4070 Ti and it's 12 gigs of RAM. What is 590? That's like 8. How many gigs is that? 30. Yeah. Screw you, man. Screw you, bastard. Okay, shit. That's a lot, man. That's like 3 times what I have. Fucking bastard, man. He has a better GPU than me. I'm so jealous now. Look at that. It's like 3,000 euros. Shit. Yeah. But let me just show you, Hito, let me just show you the absurdity of it, right? Let me show you one thing. It's absurd. So on Programmer Network, right, on our platform, I'm using OpenAI. And I'm using OpenAI for our news aggregation. I'm using it to validate malicious content and stuff. Hear me out. Let me show you how much money we spend on Programmer Network a month for OpenAI. Look at this now. Look at this. Let me move it a bit. Wait, let me hide the chat for a second. So some of these models that we need for our products are so cheap. And let me show you. So this is 4 million tokens for 31 cents, right? And listen. And we can go 10 times cheaper. Let me show you. If we use Grok, so Grok's model, not this one. So if we switch to, I will switch to Night. So if we switch to Llama 8 billion instant, right? So if we switch to Grok, this thing is the cheapest model on Earth right now. It's like, so this thing would be 3 cents. And you can see 4 million tokens. And we run our news aggregator every 1 hours. We use it for a lot of things in Programmer Network. I use it for validating images. So when you go to Programmer Network, if you try to upload like a porn image, we pass that image to OpenAI, and OpenAI kind of says, fuck you, you can't upload that image. So all of that is really this. And again, we can go 10 times cheaper than this using Grok, right? So that is why often is a bit hard to justify buying a lot of expensive shit, because it's so absurdly cheap. And you could even say that if we rented some hardware, you could even almost have it for free. Because so this model right now is, let me actually try it. So I'm gonna take my article that I wrote. And by the way, keep in mind, I don't use AI to write my articles. So if you want to read it, please do. I wrote this recently. That's my latest article. So let me actually give it here and say, summarize this article. What is Alex trying to say? Oh my God, man. Wow, that was fucking fast, dude. That was fast. Let's see. Alex is sharing his personal approach to daily self-reflection and its importance in personal growth. He emphasizes that reflection is not about self-justification or perfection, but about honesty, acknowledging personal biases and limitations, and evolving to connect genuinely with others. Alex explains that humans have a tendency to reflect on other people's behavior and emotions, and that the daily reflection is essentially understanding oneself and others better, particularly in a diverse world. He shares a personal anecdote about how using an e-ink tablet for writing helped him rediscover the joy of reflection and how it has positively impacted his work and personal life. Alex also stresses the importance of authenticity over perfection in writing and reflection. He encourages readers to start writing without templates, follow their flow, and be honest with themselves. He concludes by emphasizing that daily reflection is a transformative tool for personal growth and self-improvement. In essence, Alex is saying that daily reflection is crucial for personal growth and self-improvement, understanding oneself and others better, empowering others, and connecting genuinely with people, embracing authenticity over perfection. Dude, it summarized it amazing. It's really good. Yeah, just read that article, guys. Give it a like. Just curious, if I were to transition from front-end developer to full-stack dev, what should I focus on learning? As I don't know it comes to anything. Yeah, Paul, I can show you what. Let me try to help you a little bit here. So let me try to help you with that response. So let me try like this. So this is basically, let me show you. Bear with me. I think it's going to be useful because I spent a lot of time thinking about this. So all right, so the question is, let me just paste the question here. The question is just curious, if I were to transition from a front-end developer to full stack, what should I focus on learning? As in, I don't know what I don't know when it comes to anything backend databases apart from writing CRUD codes. Okay, so this is kind of how I think about learning anything new, right? So whenever you want to learn something new, right, you need to make sure that you start, for most people this is true, start top-down approach, right? So let me, before I answer your questions concretely, I'm going to use these analogies that I always use, right? So for example, I want to put a hole in a wall, let's imagine, right? So let's imagine this is what you want to do, right? This is typically how humans think. Humans think about something that they have to accomplish, something actionable, right? When you say this in your real life, literally, right, you start exploring things downwards. So I want to put a hole in the wall, right? And then if you start researching this, you're going to understand that you're going to get to a point of tools, and somebody's going to either suggest a hammer and nails, or a drill, right? So you're going to start top down, right? So you wanna, this is what I want to do. Then when I start researching, I kind of start getting to a point of something, and then you discover that there are some tools that will help you to put a hole in a wall, right? But then you kind of start researching more. Okay, so you know, you start saying, what is a hammer, right? Or what is a drill? I'm just keeping this very simple to share the point. And then you get a point, then at one point in time, yeah, you have borrowed a drill, you learned how to operate a drill, and then you put a hole in a wall, right? So this is kind of how humans operate on every level in society, and I don't think that programming is any exception. So now you're saying, hey Alex, I'm a front-end developer, and I want to learn backend, right? I want to learn backend, right? And backend can be a very broad term, right? Because backend isn't just building APIs, but in most cases it is. You're building some CRUD APIs, right? So you would do the same more or less here, right? So you would say, you know, I want to build I want a way to store my data, but also, you know, protect against unauthorized access or whatever, right? Let's imagine this is your problem, right? So this would be a problem. This is how you should be thinking, because when you say I want to learn backend, that is very general, very abstract. You need to be kind of more specific with yourself, what it is that you want to learn. But this is really what you're saying. I want to be able to have my UI store certain data somewhere and be able to kind of do a bit more, maybe log me in or log me out, but typically these are the things, right? And then you start with this, right? You start, okay, so what does this mean? And then you as you already know, you mentioned CRUD, right? Create, read, update, delete. So this is what we call CRUD APIs. You would get to the point of these, right? So this is kind of what it is. And then you would start going lower. But I think, not to get into details, you kind of get where I'm going. I think whenever you're learning programming in general, no matter what it is, C programming language, Rust, Pascal, COBOL, you need to first learn about the runtime, right? Runtime is very crucial, right? So for example, if you're a front-end developer or someone who is building things for the browser, then it's absolutely your responsibility to learn how the browser works, right? Because browser is your runtime. This is, for the most part, where your, of course, phone is your, but even on the phones, people are using the browser. So browser is your operating system, right? So what does this mean? This means that you are obliged, you must be an expert in how does this browser work. So, for example, you could say, do I know browser APIs, right? Do I know anything about, let's say, basics like window object, right? And then you start going into other details. So if you speak about JavaScript, you start thinking about, okay, well, do I understand which part of JavaScript is in the browser and which part is in the JavaScript language, ECMAScript spec, right? So what do I know about, let's say, document object model, right? Does that belong in JavaScript, or does that maybe exist in my runtime, in my browser, right? Then you start, but I think, so besides this analogy of starting with a problem and what it is that I want to do, then you shift the problem to your runtime. So for example, if you're building a system level app on Windows 11, you need to start learning like Windows registry, event-based APIs on Windows. So hey, if my computer is restarting on Windows and my app is still running, will Windows 11 send some event to my app so my app can also close gracefully? It can maybe automatically save things. And this applies the same to the browser, right? So all of these runtimes are the same, right? So the best way to learn, now full answer to the question, the best way to learn the backend, right, is to first understand what it is that you want to build. Basically, same analogy here. I want to put a hole in a wall. What it is that you want to build, right? Then you need to choose a language or set of languages for that. And then based on the language, understand your runtime. So where is this language running? Is this language running, you know, for example, Node.js is based on V8, right? So you would want to maybe, again, still learn something about the browser. If you want to learn Golang, then maybe some file system level APIs, etc., are nice to know, right? How does the file system works, blah, 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 right? But fundamentally, when you're learning anything, you need to focus on the core things and core questions, and then walk or work downwards instead of, because this is where universities fail a lot. They teach people things bottom-up stuff. So you start, what is a variable? What is a statement? What is a function? You do some discrete math. But then for months, you have no idea what you're doing. You're asking yourself, why the hell am I building these terminal apps? I don't want to be building, you know, terminal shitty calculators. I want to build a freaking video game. So why am I learning this? The problem is the approach. The approach takes you from early steps, and then you're waiting for months to realize, oh, this is what this is for, right? So that's why I always start with a problem or with an actionable thing you want to do, programming related as well, and then ask these logical questions. If you're not able to reason, you can always go to Gemini or any of these AI tools. This is what I do a lot. You can go to guided learning and you can say here, hey, I am a front-end, for example, developer, and I would like to learn backend programming. You can literally reverse engineer it. You could say, relative to my existing knowledge, etc., let's say whatever you do, React or, you know, Polymer.js, whatever, which questions should I be asking now when approaching backend engineering? I want to get to a solid point of building a CRUD API without authentication within a week's time. Let's imagine we tell it this, right? So you can go back and forth. This tool many years ago would have costed like $1 million a year or a month, I believe, because now you have your personal mentor to guide you through, right? But this is the reason you want to do, because indeed you said it really well. You don't really know what you don't know. So, and because you don't know what you don't know, it's very hard to ask the reasonable question. So you need to reverse engineer it like this, right? And then I'm not gonna go through this, but if you try this, I'm sure that you're gonna get amazing results. iSense, hey buddy. I hope that response makes some sense, man. Yeah. Of course, man, my pleasure. It's a good question. It's a good question. You know, the hardest thing about learning anything has nothing to do with, it has never been in history so easy to acquire new skills. Literally, in history of humanity, not even remotely. Like, we live in a times of miracles, literally. Like, AI for learning is literally a miracle. It's like been given by some force out there, right? So but ironically, as the advancement in societies happen, people get lazier and lazier, and there is no path to any great career without sweating your ass off big time. So a lot of people came to this stream, and I can see them online looking for this amazing course, this amazing resource, this amazing mentor. That doesn't exist, man. No matter what you do, you're gonna have to sit a lot, many hours for a couple of years until you get good, very good at something, right? So this is the biggest enemy of people. It isn't resources or anything. It's a basic inability to focus on anything, right? So if you can focus, then you can easily learn anything. I have no doubts. Easily. Okay, so anyway, let's very good discussions. I like it. Very good. Yeah. Yeah, these are very like arbitrary. So we need to course hero. Okay, I see. All right, that crap is cleaned up. 58 students. I don't actually think that anybody cares about that. Because this platform is literally all about simplicity and stuff. So I don't think anybody gives a crap about that, how many students there are. All right, cool. So yeah, you just go to production very quickly. Yeah, and so we kind of broke this now, I suppose. Yeah, in production, which is fine, because it's only literally my course there. That is fine-ish, I suppose, because now we are in the middle of, yeah, this refactor. Okay, so let's try using this crappy AI now for, is this the landing page? Yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely use that thing in a second. So let's get rid of this, that. Total lectures. Yeah, clean that stuff up. That. Useless comments. Then update the interface, right? Yeah. First lecture, what? Okay, so that's fine. What I'm gonna try. Give me 2 seconds, please. Alrighty, so we're gonna kind of, yeah, I hate these icons. They're so disgusting, but that's not I'm not gonna waste time in the stream doing that. I'll do that off stream. So this is okay. It's as a layout wise, it's kind of gonna be fine, I think. Not disgusting at all. I think this course ratings will probably remove for now from the UI until we can polish it, rating widgets. So what I'm actually gonna do, yeah, let's not get carried away by that for now. So we can get rid of that. No ratings for now, even though I implemented that long ago in the backend as well. So that's okay. Let's do a very minimal, beautiful, and like a V0. So V0 is just core things. And then if I end up writing many courses here, then maybe adding back that properly is. So for now, we just want to be able to kind of create a course in a nice way, structure it, and the dashboard is kind of there, getting there, I guess. So this still sucks ass here, but it's kind of it's working, right? So that needs some more work as well, for sure. But yeah. Okay, let me just think. Oh yeah. So let's kind of use a bit of AI to kind of just help us with some like manual work, just moving things around, no logic change or anything, just like putting things where they should be relative to our agent's markdown file. Yeah, exactly. Are there any alternatives for V0? I don't use these tools, palettes, so I don't know. I don't use these things. If I did, I would probably use them for prototype. I use Lovable to prototype things, but then I throw most of it away because, yeah. And actually, even Lovable probably could be made to be fine, to be good. What the... Okay, no. Oh, sorry, I get stressed out there. What the fuck? Oh, wow, okay, okay. It's calling things like new. What? Okay, wait, it's I've never seen this before. What? I see what it is. Okay. Oh, I've never seen AI just... okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. So it's... I see what is it doing. So it kind of copies the folders, renames them, renames them to new or whatever. Yeah, but that's so weird. Let me ask it. Xavier, thank you very much, man, for the follow, and the rest of you. All right, that's wow. Okay, I'm actually confused right now. What did it actually do? Mertz, hey buddy, thank you for coming. Okay, this is completely absurd now. What is that? You mean what is the stream about, or what am I doing now? Let's try to okay, that's weird. That's weird. Let's see if it's gonna figure it out. What am I doing now? I'm just rebuilding or improving the courses feature we have on the platform. So just kind of making sure that's better and stuff like that. So, and just testing this grok code now. So laughing at it a bit. Why Fastify over nodejs? These questions, my friend, are very hard, right? They're very, that's I don't know how to answer that, right? That is very, very... I know that the question comes from a very good place. Don't misunderstand me. But these types of questions are very difficult to answer, right? I don't know what exactly you're asking. That's the problem. But I also understand that maybe you don't know a better way to ask it. I'm not sure, right? But these are very, very tough questions to ask, right? You're comparing very fundamentally different things, right? These frameworks you are mentioning are very highly opinionated, domain-driven design types of frameworks, right? There's 15 different abstractions in them, and abstractions that you can't explain why you need, right? So that is the problem. So I would say you should reverse the questions. You should ask, why not a simple UI library like Fastify over these DDD types of things, right? So I would say that your question is fine, but it should be asked the other way around, right? Yeah, so this guy is kind of yeah, failing here a little bit. It's kind of breaking the things for us, so I'm not very happy about that. But okay. Yeah, that question basically could be better. I agree. Yeah, I think that question makes more sense. Definitely, yes. I would definitely say that question makes more sense. That would be a better comparison for sure, right? Okay, I have no idea what this guy is doing right now. I know that it's miserably failing, and that is also okay, I guess. But let's see. I mean, it is restructuring things according to but I don't think that so this is the thing, right? Technology doesn't have to provide something over something else for you to use it, right? It's not about features, right? It's about basic principles of how you design software, right? So again, this is not like, again, we need to be very careful not to compare technology as we're comparing two different chicks, two different girls, and then we're objectifying something, right? It's not about what one's offer or doesn't. It's oftentimes much the opposite of that. What it is that other thing brings opinion-wise that I don't want to do, right? So when you compare technology, it's much easier to compare it in the context of simplicity or complexity rather than, for example, what simplicity is for me, it might not be for you, right? I typically hate abstractions, right? I don't do domain-driven design as an onion layer, like a hardcore freak, right? Well, I mean, that could always be a response, sure, but it would be a vague response, right? So it's more about, like, once you write code sufficiently throughout your career, and once you write all of these abstractions, right? I think it's very important that you use whatever you feel like. So, for example, if you want to write code in these frameworks you mentioned, I think you definitely should do that, right? But I think over time, as you build these things more and more, you will very naturally end up using things like Chai in Golang or Express or Fastify in Node.js, because you will understand that the premises on which DDD has been built in reality never happen, right? So, for example, the premise of abstractions is that, yeah, but what if one day we have to replace the entire database with something else? That this is why these 8 layers of abstractions matter, right? What if one day we have, right? And that's the same issue with object-oriented programming, and why composition over inheritance is now a thing in every language, right? You can't design systems by making constant assumptions about the future, because we suck at predicting future, right? And also, for 20 years in this industry, I've never been in a company that one day a CTO woke up and says, we need to replace the database, right? I mean, that hopefully never happens, right? So in simple words, it's not true that simplicity is like that concept of simplicity is complex to define. Simplicity is what building, let's say, CRUD API really is. CRUD API is essentially you send a request somewhere, there's some string that you match, and then you respond to whatever that string does, right? That is fundamentally what it is. So there's some client, sends some request, we need to serve that request, run some function or functions, and give it the response. It's really that simple. It's of course, if we get into data serialization and HTTP protocol and handshakes and networking, that part in the middle is, you could say, complex or not, depending who you are. But the core abstract concept is very simple. So now, if I send a request somewhere, and this thing is running 24 functions just because one day something might be the way that we didn't envision, that is very dumb, right? So this is why you use Fastify, why you use Express, why you use Chi router in Go, is exactly that, to try and keep that. Of course, you're gonna have a service, you're gonna have a controller or something, so you're gonna have one or two levels of abstraction, but fundamentally, a problem that's fundamentally simple should remain simple, right? And that is why, basically. So, you know, it's when you're junior, when you're very young, you find pleasure in, like, look at me, look how clever I am, right? You know, I just designed this thing with 23 abstractions. It's so cool. This is so bulletproof. No matter what happens in the future, we are ready, right? It's like, yeah, but somebody has to work with that every day, right? So that is the problem. I think I would say that in some sort of encapsulation is always the way. And I hate using the word always, but for me, structure of files has always been a constant, that no matter what I do, building UIs, building backends, grouping things by feature, you could say, in a domain-driven design is nearly always the way. I can't find when that isn't the way, right? So if I show you the structure here, can I show the chat? Yeah, I can show the chat, sorry. Let me just show this again. But if you take a look at anything really in this programmer network project, if we take a look at our API, and if we take a look at some of the resources, it's really all features, right? So there's no flat structures. It's really the same. And in a DDD, these things can be named different, right? You can have a repository and this and that is absolutely irrelevant. These abstractions are often called very different names because of basement dwellers like to do it, but it doesn't really matter. You can call them banana and apple and watermelon as long as you follow these principles all across your code base, right? And then you have some constants, right? And then you have your router, and then you have your service. This is where you interface with certain things, your database, whatever. You have your schemas in this context, or models, right? And that's really it. So, and why is this it, right? So not to leave you hanging there. It's because human beings suck at multitasking. I think majority, I don't actually believe that multitasking actually exists. I don't think it's possible. I think in a physical sense, you can not be doing two things at once. You're either doing one thing or the other. So that's why when you're programming as well, you're typically fixing one thing at a time. So for example, oh, I can't write my article. Something is broken. I can't write my article. So you're going to go to the article resource only. And anything that's related to that article is there. Utilities, the tests, the right. So people don't think in flat structures. Let me open the controllers folder and scroll through 43 controllers until I find the one I want to look at, right? People think through problems, and problem is defined by the feature, right? So this is the thing, right? So when you think about things, ask yourself, how do I think about things, right? And you as a human being, has nothing to do with programming. Like, this has to do everything with just how your mind is organized, right? So I do objectively think, and that maybe sentence makes no sense. How can I be just thinking something and that be objective? But obviously that's not objective. But I deeply believe that and it's the same with the UI. If we go to the front ends, it's the same really. You have a component or a view, and that component has, so for example, let's go to the views, right? So you have a view. So right now we're doing courses, right? A component has its own file, but if we find something a little bit more complicated, so you can see a component has its own constants, it has its own hooks, custom hooks, it has its stories, it has its tests, there's a component itself, it has its own types, it has its own utilities, and then it has a file that exports all of these, right? So when I want to change something related to this, that is essentially where I go, right? Yeah. Do a full stack. I understand. Thank you very much, man. I mean, I have a lot of these ideas to do, but that's why I'm streaming. Is just making a course takes so much time. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. Failed to fetch that. Yeah. So somewhere like yeah. So this guy did. So this guy did mess it up. But it's fine. Let's keep testing. I want to keep testing this grok code because just for maybe 5 more minutes, just to be able to do sufficient amount of work where I can then at least be able to mention it in discussions and not feel ashamed of forming an opinion on something that I didn't even try, right? Because I always say I only talk about things that I know or that I've tried or that I've used in production. Otherwise, my opinion is completely useless, right? So I just want to see now, formulate some sort of an opinion on this. So yeah, that absolutely makes no sense what AI did. 0 sense completely. Davey, thank you very much for follow. Very much appreciated, man. Rita, thank you very much for coming. What's up? Bulbside, no man, no, I don't watch courses, at least not courses like that. I watch different types of courses, but not programming courses. I follow some people that do, because I work as a technical lead, right? So I'm more into leadership. Ah, fuck, okay. So AI did kind of fuck us up a bit, right? So it did mess things up. This guy, that's okay, I don't mind. It's fine. Yeah, okay, so let's try to, okay. So let's not use this guy. Let's skip and let's try what Mert was suggesting. So I'm gonna switch to. I just want to kind of use this stream as an opportunity to do that. So which one did you say, Mert? Codex? Which codex? High, max. This model is free. Okay. All right. Let's try that. It says it's free, right? Is it free? This model is free. Okay. But dude, what is this, bro? Codex Max. Okay, let's try that as well, just for fun. Even though I didn't want to use AI today at all, but it's okay. So let's do standard. Let's do standard test that I do. I'm gonna give it this. I'm gonna give it some screenshots. Okay. So I'm gonna do this. Very basic stuff. The site is very fast. Yeah, absolutely. Everything is awesome there. Yeah. All right, let's improve this. In case you are unsure what I mean, let's discuss it. Let's just see what it is. It's not that good, but I want to test it at planning as well. Let's see. I trust you guys 100%. Thank you. I want to conceptualize that myself, because if you just tell me and then I go to, because I work with my CTO very closely every day, if I formulate that opinion or give it that opinion to him, it's going to be based on what you guys have seen, not me. So let me, yeah, but I 100% trust your feedback. Can you share article about skills stuff to make? I mean, daily code, I don't have articles like that, man. I don't that the making things performant is a product of many things, right? It's so I don't think there's an article on that, but you could I mean, I could write one if you want. What about defining types in backend systems? What's considered a more practical approach, keeping them in a root? I always relate mellow things into a feature, right? Again, I see no benefit in grouping types in, let's say, single directory. I can't come up with a single reason of why that would be a good idea. That is right. That is the problem, right? Okay, this is a pretty bad plan, I would say. It's a terrible plan. So far, what you guys said checks out pretty much. Let's try. Absolutely terrible plan. Agreed. Oh shit! I'm sorry. Put the chat back. Yes. I'm very sorry for that. There we go. Samaden 250. Hey buddy, thank you very much for coming, man. Appreciate it. What should you do, Cedric? I mean, you could as always. So I mean, what could you do? I mean, I guess you could go through a couple of things and test them out. I guess also we need to fix this. I need to kind of see why the videos are not rendered. Actually, why is maybe cross-origin resource sharing? Is it core? No, is it, sorry, that's not what I meant. It makes no sense what I said. Yeah, maybe it's this violation that we have here. But yeah, it is. So we need to, okay. Wait, let me just give this. Most people that I've talked to suggest to use monorepo. Again, so I just have to be, again, very, I cannot, so Pate, I think, you need to try to think as an engineer again, and I'm gonna keep coming back to that, right? I don't know. I think to a lot of people that is very hard, but again, I'll repeat it again. We cannot respond to these questions in such a way, right? I think you need to ask questions as an engineer, right? And I mean, it doesn't matter what people have suggested to you, right? These people have certain problems. Monorepo or any of these patterns, every pattern has positives and negatives, and depending which, every single technical decision you make, every single one of them in your life is gonna have positives and negatives. You will never ever make a technical decision that's absolute, like this is the way. There's no such thing, right? So fundamentally, again, whenever you discuss technology, you have to understand that basic principle. Like if you go with monorepo, you solve certain problems, but you introduce other problems, right? So you make things very coupled together. Things can become very messy. Building things becomes very coupled, so everything applies to in most cases to every single repository. So I don't use monorepo because for me it doesn't solve any problems, right? It actually introduces them. It makes something that's inherently decoupled for me. So my backend and front end and other services are completely decoupled. It makes them coupled on a code level. And I see no benefit in that. So for example, all of the libraries that Programmer Network uses, I have built for this platform. They're all separate packages or NPM. I do local linking. So for example, here, if we go to my Vite project, right, in front end, in Vite, I link local versions of repositories on my computer to my front end. So when I make a change to my UI library, in my core project, I can still see changes. When I'm ready, I deploy these separate packages to NPM, and then in production, I install them, right? So I don't need to have a, monorepo. If I had the types that I wanted to share, I would probably do the same. I would have a common library, like I would call it shared isomorphic library. I would call it isomorphic types or whatever, and then I would share the types via that library or whatever, right? So there are many ways to solve these problems, and monorepo is just one way, but it's not the only way, right? Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I really want to fix this crap. It's been there for a long time and it's been some breaking change. I'm sorry, my wife is telling me something. React, YouTube. That would be amazing. That would be amazing, Cedric. I'm very sorry. Just need to focus. I saw this issue before. I'm self-hosting everything. Yes. Oh, wow, I wrote this. What? Oh, shit, man. I opened this in 2024. Jesus Christ, man. So, okay, so, So is there some prop or whatever? Jesus, man. Never got a response. Bastards. Never got a response. Motherfuckers. Okay. Most popular. All right, let's try this. This kind of looks way simpler as well. shit, man. Wait, I need to think. I need to think a little. Ah, fuck, this could be easily in our tip chat, right? Yeah, crap. In our core library. Ah, I see. Motherfuckers. Okay, so it's this one that's failing. So it's this asshole here that fails us, right? I think. So what if we pass these bad boys over here to YouTube? I actually don't think that's gonna do much, but let's give it a shot. So if I open this bad boy here, and then we go local, and then we okay. So actually the issue isn't that asshole there, even though this video isn't available. Okay, well, I mean, at least, okay, that is better, I would say. So I would leave that, but we're having a little bit of a different issue. So let's maybe go here. Let's go GitHub maybe. Let's see if so annoying, dude. That is such a crappy issue. And then otherwise we need to disable this picture-in-picture policy or whatever. And what did the AI tell us? This guy, nah. Yeah, this guy. Allow, okay, iframe, allow, autopilot encrypted. You need to explicitly allow the YouTube origin your permissions policy. Since you prefer. But what Fastify has to do with this? This video is embedded in our UI. and hosted on Cloudflare pages. No, please ask, man. I always appreciate it. Absolutely, dude. Please ask. My pleasure, man. I love when you ask. Don't ever hold back. Ah, I see. So, because our security policy, which is this platform built on security, is very restrictive, right? So we need to allow self and, right? Yeah, come in. All right, let me just deploy. Give me 1 second. Sorry for that. I recently did get a task project from company, but they did write it poorly and I didn't do one-on-one clone of it, but better version since I haven't submitted it. Do you think should I keep it as is before sending or write it to be one-on-one? I should have asked, but the time is running out. Well, I mean that. So that is always. So there's no, unfortunately, Mert. I don't think that. So unfortunately, that's a trap, right? Hiring has always been broken because you never know what it is that people that send you the challenge expect you to do, right? So for instance, if you do it 10 times better, let's say, that can be treated as 10 times better, like hell yeah, or it can be treated as terrible. Because hear me out, imagine I'm a PM and you're not project manager, product manager, very different. Imagine I'm a product manager and you and I agree that we are doing version 0 of this feature. This is literally how we work at Dream Data in my own team, the team that I run. So if me and my PM agree that we're gonna do the subset of features for version 0, and we want to deploy that within 1 day because we cut the scope down, and then my engineers come and they say, oh, we did 3 times that, right? I don't think I would consider that good. I would consider that bad because, hey, we didn't agree for you to do these 3 extra things because we have to, there's reasons why, right? And of course, we would communicate the reasons. So it's very hard in your context to give you the correct response because it could also be wrong. Like you said yourself, like you're already insinuating, assuming, basically you could say, well, why didn't I ask, right? So if they maybe they left the very unclear requirements so you can actually ask them, email them and ask, right? So that's a trap there, you know. That's a trap because and actually, to be very honest with you, yes, sometimes requirements will be vague. This is what like Marty Kagan from Silicon Valley, from the product group of Silicon Valley, says. He wrote these 2 books, Inspired and Powered, and the 3rd one as well. You know, and as you know, in startups, you know, task details are not always clear. They are vague. And then how does the person behave? How does the professional behave when things are not clear? And actually, the most amazing tech leads, team leads, CTOs, engineering managers, product directors, engineering directors are those that take the lack of clarity and turn it into clarity, right? So I would say, I don't know, because it's unclear what it is that they're trying to get out of that, right? They maybe did all of that consciously. So so you actually reach out to them, right? Or maybe they just did it because they suck. Who knows? But that is the hard part of it. We don't know. To be very honest with you, my dude, all of that can be a task itself, right? All of that can be a task itself. I have no idea. I would definitely say, yeah. I would definitely say yes, do that for sure. Okay, this is absolutely disgusting what the AI did, but it's fine. My pleasure, man. My pleasure. Okay, let me just try. But it's good. It's good. I mean, I spent most of this stream just hooking you guys up to the platform and stuff, so I didn't actually, honestly, I have very low expectations to do any work when I join these streams because the goal is just to get for you guys to get to know me and the platform. So, yeah. Jesus Christ. Samadan, hey buddy again. I'm sorry, which question? I missed it. If you can please just paste it again. Looking to become front-end developer, learning HTML, right? Do you have tips for beginners? You have to just build and learn. It's a very hard industry. There's a lot of things to learn. A lot of things. Thousands of things to learn. So I would say the best tip is keep learning and yeah. So that is the only thing. That is the only thing, really. There's a lot of stuff to learn. You have to build. The only thing you can really do is just check YouTube. The stream looks way sharper. I don't know. Stream should be. I mean, this is insanely good streaming setup here. So if it's looking bad there, then it's probably because this thing sucks. This what is it called? Twitch then sucks ass, most likely. Yeah, I mean, so Cedric, you need to run the migrations, man. I think you're getting I think you're getting frustrated by these things, but I either have to write the README for you, because I mean, I wrote. No, I don't think you did. No, no, at least not properly. Yeah, at least not properly. You need to source your environmental variables before you do it, right? But also, it's on me. I would say that's on me, because. Any plans on adding remove avatar feature? I mean, we could do that very quickly, Mert. I mean, yeah, if you want to completely remove it. Yeah, I mean, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that for sure. Should be a 3-minute task, right? Should be a 3-minute task, honestly. Sure. I'll do that. My pleasure, man. Of course. Thank you for asking. No, we don't need that. We already have a library that does that. We already have a library that does that, yeah. We already have our avatar that handles these cases. Off topic, I've seen many YouTube coding education channels who are at part of mastering Java. It pisses me off that people still need to watch more parts of such content. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if people want to build videos and do content, I mean, let them, right? The thing is, I mean, if people are making videos, right? Yeah, I mean, but that is, of course, I mean, but there's vast difference, right? That's why I also have 40 or 50 people watching, right? Is because this type of content isn't something that people give a shit about, right? So, I mean, you have to understand that majority of people that watch YouTube videos or watch these streams are beginners, right? So a lot of my content that I do is not accessible for 99% of people, right? Because I do infrastructure and front end and back end and security and stuff. And that's not your typical viewer. So that's why I'm not, under quotes, successful under some definition in this streaming type of field, because I don't give a fuck, right? I stream today and I might stream again in a month or tomorrow. So I'm not a content creator, so it's vastly different. A lot of these people who make these YouTube videos, they try to live off of that. So they have to do whatever they have to do, right, in order to succeed. And you can't blame them for that, right? So it's you know, and you know, I think there's like, I don't know how many billions of minutes of content uploaded to YouTube every minute or something like that. Oh, thank you very much for that, man. That's very kind of you, dude. Thanks a lot. But I mean, yeah, I always say, I mean, you know, watch whoever inspires you. Ah, man, this AI is failing big time. It's failing big time. Whoever inspires you, whoever gives you motivation, whoever gives you fun, watch that, right? I mean, I'm not the most fun person to watch, I can tell you that, and I'm not here to make it fun for you either. So if you're seeking for some sort of entertainment, you're not gonna get that inside of the stream ever. So, you know, I'm not gonna be wearing a fucking banana on my head because you gave me a $5, right? Or shit like that, right? I still have self-respect, you know. But if that's what you seek, I'm sure there's a bunch of places to find that as well, and that's just how it is, right? Yeah, that is so weird, man. Also, these tests are kind of useless anyway. Whirlpool programming. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so this guy is... Okay, so now I'm constructing the opinion on... So, dude, like, as I try to use these other models, you realize how good these Anthropic models are, man. Like... Wow, they're like so much better. It's almost surreal. Like, this thing is failing now to fix. I mean, I could have fixed these two tests in probably in 1 minute, but that's beside the point. I just want to know what am I working with. And man, the OpenAI investing how many billions so far, hundreds of billions into this, and it still fails way more than, let's say, these other models. It's fascinating to me, man. It's like asking, where did this money go, dude? And then the Altman guy says, oh, we're gonna invest $1.4 trillion. It's like, into what, man? Yeah, of course we know that. I mean, I speak a lot about these things in this stream, but you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. There is nothing really surreal or unclear there, right? The way that you can express your thoughts to the human or AI is no different, right? So if you lack knowledge, ability to surface your ideas to this tool, you're gonna fail to use this tool as much as you would fail with people as well. So if you go to your colleague and say fix, you say fix this, your colleague is probably gonna be, what the hell are you talking about, right? So you should not be making too many differences between explaining things to AI or to human beings, right? It's that's how it is. All right, so I'm just gonna push this PR. I'm not gonna merge it yet because it's, let's just say, far from done. I'll finish this today, Cedric, by the way, and our courses should look amazing after today. But I'll do this off stream. As I said, I stream just to get to know some of you guys, to get you to use Programmer Network. But to say that I do much work when I stream, that would be a complete lie. I don't, because streaming in that sense is absolutely useless, to be honest. The only useful thing is getting to know you guys and also making you sign on Programmer Network, hopefully making a community. But getting work done while answering 500 questions, that would be very dishonest to say. So, and that is completely fine. I'm completely okay with that. It's just it's important to note that the amount of work I do when I stream is 3% of what I would have done if I didn't stream. Craft, my friend, good to see you again. Do you accept requests to do pair programming? If yes, how much do you charge? I mean, I don't think if I would have time for that, man. I mean, that's the problem. I think it's rather... just stick around, man. Stick around, try to be active. Help me with this Programmer Network. Help some of you early adopters. Try to leave a thought here and there. Try to be active, and I'm always happy to create some private free groups, 5 of us or whatever, join Hangouts and we code together. You don't need to pay me for that. I mean, but definitely, even if you wanted to pay me, and no matter how much you were willing to pay me, I wouldn't have time for that. So because I already have a full-time job and a wife and a kid, and if I wanted to do consulting, I would probably find a better means of doing it, if you get what I mean. In simple words, I would probably, like, if I had extra time to make money off work, I would not do... I used to do what you're asking for, Pellets. I used to work at the bootcamp for 5.5 years, so I was doing one-on-ones basically for 5.5 years. I can actually show you. So I used to work at Thinkful. So I used to work at Thinkful in parallel with my full-time job. So this used to be one of the most popular bootcamps in the US. And most of my job was basically, mentoring people. But I no longer do that because it's just, the time of making money I could spend better. So for example, I could write courses, I could sell courses, or I could kind of spend that time I would spend with you one-on-one into actually writing courses and then selling them somewhere. But I also don't want to do that. I don't need more money for now. I'm good with the amount of money I have. So if I needed more money, then but again, stick around and we can talk when I'm here, because I would never commit to something that I can't. I would never commit to something that I can't, respect fully, right? So that's why I also don't have a streaming schedule. People ask me, where can I see when you stream? You cannot. I don't know when will I stream. I might stream tomorrow, or I might stream in a month from now. That's unfortunately how it is. Why is Cloudflare down again? Oh, it's not. Okay. Okay, so it is deployed now. So the headers here should have picture-in-picture YouTube. Okay. Yeah, that kind of sucks if it doesn't fix it, because I would... Is that then really a problem? Okay, so picture-in-picture crap is gone. What does this mean, man? Craft, actually, I got really far with that. And I actually have it. I have it here in the roadmap. I just never finished it because, you know, my baby is 4 months old. So I gotta. But you know, I got very far with it with the infrastructure course. But we already do that, I believe, Mart. Yeah, if you're referring to this view, this is already infinite scrolling with virtual list, right? Really? Nah, this one? No, I don't see that. You sure? Are you referring to this? This is a virtual list already, and as you can see, I am scrolling now, and RAM is the same. And this is highly optimized query, highly optimized. I would expect this to be as optimized literally as it possibly can be. So you can see it's loading in 80 milliseconds each page, right? So you can see, I don't know if you can actually, you can't see it here, but it's 8. And I don't see any memory leak here or anything. Let's see. But let me keep scrolling, 253 megabytes. But I don't think this has anything to do with that though. No. I'm still scrolling, and I can see, you can see how much. So we have not even 1 megabyte loaded yet. Memory is still the same, I would say. And yeah, this is a virtualized list already. So I don't know what happened on your end. I mean, I'm not saying it could be caused. Yeah, no, sure. I mean, but that is not a lot of nodes. I get it. Okay, so you're basically saying, but I don't think that caused, right? Yeah, sure. But I don't think that caused 1 gig of RAM, right? That is still few kilobytes of data, right? So right. So as you can see, I'm doing it right now, and it's basically, let's see. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Show all nodes 250. But I hear what you're saying. It's just the thing is, so the thing is, right, it's so if we, let me just put it this way, right, Mert, like let's technically say, even though I can see like I can see memory usage. Okay, so number one, yes, let's write your suggestion down, and I think it's, if it does degrade the performance, let's do it. So we cannot disagree on that. That's just common sense. So first, let me first make a ticket, and then optimize company community list. So number one, right? So we agree, definitely. And I think second thing here is, right, is there's so many places in every product that you can optimize, right? That fundamentally you have to ask a basic core UX question. Is somebody going to come and scroll to this list? Obviously, my assumption was no, right? You kind of proved me wrong, right? Because my UX expectation on this view is literally going to be that I'm gonna search for Alex, right? Or I'm gonna search for, you know, Mert. But that somebody is gonna scroll to, I don't know, we have 2,000 signed up users, right? No, and that's fine. That is great. That's why streaming, at least this type of stuff, is so amazing, because you guys say, fuck you, Alex. I will scroll, right? So then my opinion becomes invalidated, which is what I deeply love. I love people that I disagree with. My friends, my colleagues at work, I love them so much because they're so smart and they don't just validate things that I say, they challenge it and vice versa. So this is kind of the beauty of life and being surrounded by people that you don't have to always nod your head with and you know, like, so that's great. That's why I kind of really enjoy also kind of having people in the chat who are willing to just, you know, that's great, man. Thank you. That's amazing. Yeah, okay, very good. We will actually do this. I'm gonna set this as a high priority because it's a very simple thing. And then also you said another thing. You said ability to remove avatar. I'll finish this today, Mert, and then you can check out the platform maybe later today and stuff, because soon I will end the stream. I want to be with my wife and kids a bit, but in the evening when they're all asleep, I'll do these things. Man, there's so many solutions to this problem. Jesus Christ, dude. So annoying, man. Let's go back here just for... no cookie controls false, okay? It's such a crappy issue, man, and it was introduced by, you can see here, why is the iframe not loading? Yeah, there's not, Why is this null? It makes no sense. Oh, I see. So there's really no errors, right? Yeah, so that's good. So why the hell is it failing to... Okay, now it works. What? Jesus Christ. What's happening? So it works locally, but it doesn't work in production. So in production, we're still getting the same crappy issue. Origin. Oh, I see. I wonder what if we set the actual origin. Thanks, man. Of course. Is this syncing repositories? Because I'm aware of this. Yes. Also something I did last night. I need to update the. Actually, let's do that already. I wanted to do this also tonight, but it's fine. I'm almost sure this is syncing repos, right? Yep. Yeah, I'm aware of that actually already, and it's literally an env. So as I said, I was configuring something on our Kubernetes cluster last night, and basically I need to update the callback URL essentially. So let's actually fix that right away so you can test it already. Give me 2 seconds, my friend. You just socially stress me, so I just have to do it immediately, which is very good, because I have a massive sense of pride, which I can't, can't allow to be defeated, I did. Everything is deployed in the Kubernetes cluster. We're using PG native operator yeah. We're using PG native operator for, Jesus Christ, man. Give me 1 second. That's really bad. Everything is high availability, of course. That's what PG native operator is. So if you Google PG native operator, that isn't a high availability. It's a cluster. It's a cluster basically. Yes. Give me 1 second, guys. I've done it, so it should be working in a second. Give me 1 second. When you log into Programming Network, you can sync your repositories under your profile. But I'm gonna let's just do this. So actually, let me just redeploy something and then I can show it. So if we go to Actions, and actually, in fact, I don't want to deploy this, but it's fine. Update the one. So let me just redeploy stuff so I don't, even though I could have just restarted the containers manually, but it's fine. So Kubernetes and the data, right? So this is what I use for my Kubernetes here. And of course, this is probably one of the most conflicting points in the Kubernetes community. Should we use stateful things? Should we put stateful things in Kubernetes, right? Because for many years in Kubernetes community, this was a massively neglected and disagreed thing on, right? Like, why would I have a database in Kubernetes? That makes no sense in many ways. Well, it does make sense today, and I'm using this for Programming Network. I haven't used this in a massive scale of things. So does it work properly or not? If you are having millions of users, I don't know. You would have to ask someone competent in that. I'm not that competent in this at all. I set it up. I know how it works. It's an operator. So the best thing you can do is understand what is a Kubernetes operator. If you don't know, Kubernetes has an amazing documentation, one of the best documentations I've ever read in my life. So if you don't know what an operator is in Kubernetes, basically it is a way to define a thing that you define an operator almost as a human operator. So in this context here, somebody wrote, some set of experts in Postgres wrote an operator for Kubernetes that knows how to deal with a database level of Postgres in this case. So how to operate Postgres, how to do restarts, how to do backups, etc. So basically, Kubernetes operator pattern is, they called it an operator, almost like a mimic to an old-fashioned data centers operators, right? People who would work in data centers operating certain things, right? And Gopher, hey buddy, I haven't seen you in a long time. Yeah. Okay, by the way, let me try to sync repositories now. So repositories, resync, fail to obtain access token. Okay, so maybe there's another thing that I forgot. Yeah, maybe there's another env that I forgot updating. Let me try again. Yeah, probably there is. Okay, I need to, I don't know if I want to fix this now or fuck it. Give me 1 second. Yeah, for sure. But I do backups with something different, right? I do backup using Longhorn and Valero. So you have Longhorn and you have Valero. Let me just share these while I'm doing what I'm doing. Where is it? Okay. I do backups on every level. I mean, I have like I do backups on several levels, right? I need to back up my Kubernetes files, right? So we need to back up Kubernetes state. We need to back up the files and host level stuff, and then we need to back up the database as well, right? I also do rclone to Google Drive, right? So again, there's so many ways you can do these things. It's insane. There's so many ways you can do these things. It's just yeah. And these are highly complex things. I do not by no means pretend to understand the low-level details of them, and that is the only, you could say, a little bit fascinating but also frustrating thing with Kubernetes and a lot of these operators and tools, right? We can all set them up. We can go to, you know, AI or Google and follow documentation, set up using Helm or manually, but when things don't work, right, that is unfortunately where things go to shit, right? Client secret. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just yeah, I think I found it. ID secret. Ah, shit. Okay. So that should be good. Okay, very good. Very good, very good. I'll try restarting once. I believe this is related to the ENVs again. So just fuck. Okay, good. Actually, never mind. It's all good. Rerun this job. Nicola, I'm streaming. My son came in. So okay. Just going back to Goofer. This is kind of what I do, and I also do the Longhorn stuff, and I also do the Valero stuff, and I also do the native K3s backup, right? As well. So because I run HA, right? With K3s, you have this etcd snapshot as well. So I do all of these things, and there's a backup on multiple levels of things, right? And for the cloud native, I use R2 from Cloudflare, right? Because it's a compatible AWS S3 API. So that's what I do for that. Okay, repositories are fixed. Who was it that asked about it? So yeah, repositories are fixed, you could say. Yeah, very good. And now really what I want to fix is that this video bullshit, man. That's so annoying. So annoying, dude. Let me just give me 1 second. Okay, that's good. That's good as well. Thank you very much, guys, for your follows. Appreciate that. It's just so fascinating what it is in production that farts out. Let's see. Is there any errors in here? That is the problem, right? No, there's absolutely no. All right, give me 1 second. All right, guys, my wife is calling. I need to help with something, so I need to go. If there's time tonight, I might decide to stream because I don't stream much, and yeah, I would like to hang out with you guys. So I need to run. She's been calling me now for like 30 minutes. Mert, thank you very much. For those of you, I mean, it's shameless advertising. Please go sign up on the network and leave a thought, write an article, do whatever. I'm trying to build an awesome community here and an awesome platform for us developers, and I have no doubts that we will accomplish that eventually. So if you get a chance, please spend some time around. And you can also read the news. As I said, we have a news aggregator now on Programmer Network as well. So Goofer, let's continue that discussion another time. Very interesting, very interesting. I just need to go now, so we would need to discuss that for 20 minutes. So, but I'll write your comment down, and then next time we see each other, we're gonna discuss that. I think that's better. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Thank you for being here, and I'll catch you guys up another time. See you. Bye bye. Cheers.